Stop the traffic or join it. Plenty of people do not stand with human trafficking, but do nothing about it. Each person that starts an act or joins an act to stop human trafficking is at least one person saved. So the purpose of my speech today is to persuade my audience that human trafficking is the fastest global growing criminal industry in the world. And this issue should be brought out to the light more due to people's safety worldwide. Whether it's labor or sex trafficking, being brought up part of it is not a great feeling. If we could be more aware and understand it better, I promise we could decrease or even eventually eliminate this issue. But in order to understand this issue today, I will be talking about the global issues and ways to prevent it. We all want to be able to do what we love or even walk down the street safely and happily. But unfortunately, we can't if we don't put a stop upon human trafficking in today's society. Global issues concerning human trafficking is what we'll get into at the moment, because it's not just happening in the US, it's happening worldwide. So according to the website Homeland Security, published by the Blue Campaign Access on April 19, 2020, human trafficking is the use of force and fraud to obtain some type of labor or sex act. Every year, millions of men, women, and children are trafficked worldwide, including right here in the US. It can happen in any community. The victims can be any race, age, gender, or even nationality. Traffickers might use violence, manipulation, false promises of well-paying jobs, or even romantic relationships to lure victims into trafficking situations. Many people go through human trafficking every day, but it hurts differently when you know someone or heard about someone who has gone through it. So a survived victim from Florida named Rose Alamo, and her horrific event happened in 1979 when she was at the age of 9. Living in extreme poverty and in a verbally and physically abusive household, she eventually left, hoping for a better life. For 6 years she stayed with friends or lived in houses near her work. Then she got into a relationship. In this relationship, the man showed her love, and being that she's very vulnerable because she lived in an abusive household, she didn't know how to act when she found out somebody else loved her. So with that being said, she would do anything for this relationship. But little did she know, he was a trafficker. And she had no clue due to her lack of education. But she soon realized that she was being trafficked when he took her 30 miles away from her house. And when they arrived at the destination that they were going to, she realized that she wasn't the only woman getting abused, mistreated, and used. So just like that, being as vulnerable as she is, she was a victim of trafficking. But now that we have a better insight on what trafficking is and how it affects the world globally, let's look at ways we as a community, nation, or even world can prevent / fight this situation and save our freedom. Ways to prevent this situation seems pretty easy, being that most websites simply just say, be alert, be involved, be aware, be supportive, and be responsible. But most people that go through human trafficking usually leads to depression and death. Deaths either from negligent, burned out from labor, or even suicide from being mistreated and being abused. To prevent these deaths, be sure to be aware. If you sense any type of trafficking, immediately contact the police whether it's trafficking or not. According to the website unodc.org, on the transnational organized crime, it is better to be mistaken than let another victim continue to be enslaved. A project called Polaris that was founded in 2002 is the best foundation to run to once you sense any human trafficking. This foundation has been working to stop human trafficking ever since 2002 and most likely before then. This foundation states that 24.9 million people are around the world are snatched from their freedom. With this being said, you never know when someone you know or even you will be put in a situation of human trafficking in general. And personally, I like going for long skateboard rides, whether it's very far or very close to my house. And it's stressful that I have to be careful for anything like trafficking that may happen during my ride. Human trafficking may not be brought up as often as it should, and it has cost many lives over the past decades. But those past decades we cannot get back. But we can always make a change starting here. Today I have educated all of you on how effective human trafficking is and how to prevent it or fight it. I hope after today you won't think twice about reporting any suspicious acts, and I hope you are willing to think about your freedom and others, because some people do not have that freedom. But we can always make a change here.